Okay, coming for the Triple M. I'm still working on trying to get an opportunity for us to have a live class for that. Maybe, looks like it could happen. I hope so. But want to get some movements in today and want to introduce you to some stretches Kelly Starrett. Well, he didn't come up with this, but he really pushes the couch stretch, and I'm going to introduce that to you with a few other stretches that I try to use on a daily basis. So this is going to be our couch or our chair. Basically what you're looking for is you're looking for something that won't slide and won't move, which this is neither of those things. It will slide and it will move, but it's, I didn't want to bring a couch in here, so we're going to try that. So get at your couch. You can use your bed. You'll need a pillow of some kind for your knee, so your knee doesn't, you don't hurt your knee on the ground. But we're going to do a few high pigeons because most of you don't have, a lot of times you can have a stool, like I have stools here at the gym that you can use for this type of thing. So if you do have a high stool or something that you can get where you can get your leg up and on it, that can help as well. I have a specially made device that many of you have used, but we don't have that right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to adapt to the couch or the chair, but just make sure that it's something that you can lean on and support your weight. Couch is usually best because it won't move. All right, so go ahead and get in that position. What we'll do then is you'll start off with just taking the leg and putting the leg on to the couch and then dropping down and in. Many of you will find that this right here, you might need to stay here. You might need to adjust yourself a little bit, but just getting into this high position. Now, maybe that's too intense for you. If that's too intense, then just sit down and sit high. Make sure you get the legs straight. Okay, make sure the legs are straight and sit down and just sit high and just push down on that leg if that couch stretch is too intense for you. And you'll find that if you haven't done these in a long time, maybe you haven't done these since you've been here, or maybe you've never done these, this might be plenty. But what we'd like to do though is we'd like to introduce to get to a point where we can get that leg on there, drop down and in, and get the knee to the, scraped that across my ankle. That felt good on those ankle bones. All right, so I've got this now, and what I want to do is maybe right here we stay. Also, you can build up underneath, maybe putting the pillow underneath the low knee to make it higher. You're going to have to adapt. We've all learned that necessity is the mother of invention. So now what I'm doing is I'm just feeling through, making sure that everything's in a loose enough position. I've got my foot hanging over the edge. You can bring the foot on and through. If the foot doesn't hang over the edge, that's going to be more intense. Okay, so these are a number of things. You just got to kind of get into it and feel. This might be where you want to be. Breathe. Now remember, the exhalation, that's where we want to get the extension. So I'm going to breathe in, and then I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to lean forward. Now, if everything's okay, I might just want to stay here. If it's too tight and you can't get a breath or it's too much, then come back up. We're not trying to be aggressive. You want to, I like with these, guy I follow, Trevor, he likes to maintain 2 minutes on everything, which I think is a good thing. And 2 minutes is not a long time, but to get in a position like in restorative yoga, you want to maintain 2 minutes. Sometimes it takes 2 minutes for your body to start to relax and relieve. You want to get to a point where you're in this position where you're not holding yourself. Like, the pain is so intense. So find a position where you can get to a point where I can go. And as Pavel would say, release. That's what Pavel says. We breathe in and then we release. Release. And when he made that video, it was hilarious because he kept saying, release. And I'd have that playing and the kids were little and they'd walk around the house and go, release. All right. So what we're trying to do is exhale, coming down and in. I don't know how long we've been into this position, but now I'm going to start trying to turn towards the outside and turn towards the inside. So I'm feeling some extra tension from the running that I've been doing lately. So I've got some areas to work on. I'm not relaxing by any means. I'm feeling some stuff coming down the outside of the leg, which means the iliotibial band is under some pressure. So I'm gonna put a little weight on this. Take my arm, put down on this, and breathe in to that hip. I know it sounds crazy, but my yoga teacher, she would say, breathe into the area of tension. And I'd say, what? But it actually works. If you'll think about it, you're going to breathe in and then exhale that tension away. All right, let's just take a few minutes and work on that. Try to just stay in that position, whatever position that you can stay in. We're only doing 2 moves today. And that's these 2 moves, life-changing moves if you can get to the point of being able to do them. And if this is really, really, really getting a hold of you, welcome to your daily move. I mean, if you're having trouble with this, then this is something you need to practice daily until you can get in that internal rotation where the hip's turning externally, but the leg is turning internally, and you need to have that hip, because remember, if your hip can't move in and out, then your knee is taking torque that it's not built to handle. The knee is not something that was made to twist and turn and torque. All right, you can tell when I'm working on something because I just keep talking so I can keep working on it. All right, so let's take a couple deep breaths here. Okay, now, anytime you're coming out of these positions, support yourself. You've got to be careful coming out of these positions. Try to move the leg in a way where you're not putting too much pressure down and through. All right? So, I've definitely got some inflammation in this left leg. It's definitely got things that I need to work on. So let's do some sweep throughs here. All right, everything feels like it's going to hold together there. So I'm going to go ahead, now we're going to move to the high pigeon on the right side. Now I already know my right has issues. So I'm going to ease into this. So this is how I'm going to ease into this with the implement I have. Just make sure you're supporting yourself. Make sure your knee has something, your bottom knee has something where it's not cracking on the hard floor, okay? So I don't need to go over all that again, all right? So I'm going to put this down. Right knee is going to be talking to me. A lot of times my right knee, I don't know that it's out of alignment, but there's something that every once in a while I'll feel that alignment come through my right knee, and I know it's a result of the tension that I'm holding in my hip. So we're just going to move through. Actually, my left was tighter than my right today. Your body's going to give you something different every day. So I'm going to ease through this, pushing. Now right now I'm pushing, putting weight down. I'm going to move my foot. Now remember, when I move my foot back that way, I take that flexion out of that foot, that puts everything on that hip. If you're feeling pain in your knee, that means your hip's not letting loose and you need to find a better position for that hip to let loose a little bit. So we're not torquing the knee. Remember, we're not trying to find room in the knee. We're trying to stabilize the knee. You don't want to create room in the knee. That's not a good thing. Trust me, I've created room in my knee before. It's not a good thing. When I turn outside, I'm going to turn inside. So I was watching some of my videos the other day just to try to make sure everything was coming through, and it was hilarious because I was talking to Lacey about need to start a contest to see who can come the closest. You know, they have this contest where they have the bean jars and you look at the beans or you look at the jelly beans and try to guess how many are in there. We need to have a contest how many times I say okay or all right, because man, I'm telling you, I was listening to that thing, I'm thinking, that all right, okay, all right. And back when I was in public speaking, I used to work at getting those little kind of idiosyncrasies out of my speaking. Well, it's obvious that I haven't been working on that in a long time. There we go. Now, because I've got less inflammation in my right hip, I'm really finding some solid movement here. See, I really feel like I got a freedom of movement through in that. So and I'm bad about doing that too, taking my fist, popping my glute. I don't know why, if that works or not, but it feels to me like that kind of helps to release it a little bit. Probably not, but what? Hey, the placebo, you can criticize the placebo all you want, but if it works, I'm taking it. All right. That's like that one guy said, the placebo can't hurt you, but amazingly enough, it can heal you. The mind is an amazing thing when it believes in something. Woo! That's a whole nother class there. All right. Good. So had fairly good response in through my right hip. Left showing me some issues today, but I'm still, even though I've had a good response in my right hip, I'm still going to be very careful coming up and out, trying to be smooth. Then I'm going to give, especially the longer you stay in it, the more sensitive and tender you treat it when you come out and through. Hey baby, you been over there nibbling your blanket? All right, so now I know that we've got these issues here. I know I've got some issues in my left hip. Now we're going to go in to the second movement. That's the first movement. At least 2 minutes each side. Okay? If you were spending time with me, we were close. We were close to 2 minutes. All right, so now we're going to go into this next stretch called the couch stretch. First one we're going to do is a standing couch stretch. This, like I said, is not a good situation for me, so I'm going to turn this against this my exercise machine here, just for the sake of it not pushing back and through. So basically what we're going to do, have something in front of you to be able to hold on to for stability. The body doesn't want to release tension if it doesn't feel like it's stable. So I'm going to bring this. You bring a chair, you can bring anything you want. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the couch stretch. I'm going to do my best to show you from what we're going to try to do. I'll tell you what, let's do this. I'll bring this back up, all right, and just show you what I'm going to do, and then I'll move that back because I know this thing's not going to stay where it needs to stay. That's why it needs to be a couch. So I'm going to take my leg and I'm going to put it like that. Now you see how it's already doing that? I'm going to put it like that. Okay? Put that there. Let's start. I'm going to start off with my left one first, since that's what I did on the other side, and I already know that I have a trouble. So I'm going to put that back there. I'm going to get my knee as far back as I can. Ooh, I can already tell. And then I'm going to go back. Okay? And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to fire my hip forward. So when I come back and try to keep my head tall, really feeling extension through the front of my quad, through my hip flexor complex. I like using this because I can really get some downward force and turn. I have really got some issues in that left hip. I should be able to come all the way up and fire my glute, and I can't. That hip flexor complex and that short head of that bicep femoris is lighting me up. So, hello, I've got some issues. Oh, you don't pull on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind. Oh, whew. Good. How does it go? You don't something with a long ranger, and you don't mess around with tension. All right. There, starting to loose up a little bit, but I still can't get that hip. You know you've got it free when you can push back and fire the glute. I can't on that left side. So I know I'm really going to have to work on clearing that out. Getting better though. See, I can come there and press forward here. I can fire through there, but when I come out and get that quad in full extension, it's not letting me do it. Hopefully you're having better luck than I am with that. All right, nice deep breaths now. Again, about 2 minutes working on this. Wow, I had no idea that that was that tight. All right, you need to, okay, I don't know if you can see or not how I'm turning my leg down, taking time. Let me show you that after spending all that time in that position. When I came out, all right, I was back like that and coming up. When I came out, I just turned my leg down, because after coming out of that position, if I would have done like this and pushed straight up, I could have pulled something. So I'm just dropping down and then coming up and through, okay? Showing you all the little tricks of the trade here, eh? All right, so we're gonna go into that right side. Hopefully I can show you the way it's supposed to look. All right, I'm gonna get back as far as I can there. Yeah, you guys are seeing an oddity here, that my left hip is the one that's giving me the issues. Usually it's my right hip. So all I'm doing now is checking through, making sure everything's clear. A lot of times just pushing forward like this, you can really discover some areas that need some special attention. Okay, so now on my right side, I'm coming up, I'm firing my glute, pressing this forward. Chest is tall, everything's fine. Couldn't do that on my left side. Push down and through. Yeah, see how I've got, that's amazing in my right hip. Okay, so I'm gonna drop down and in. So you might need to get some more work, okay? So let's go over real quick. We spent 2 minutes with the leg like this, dropping the knee to the floor, turning forward, then the other leg, and then we spent at least 2 minutes per side. Those are the couch stretches. Ease into them, ease out of them. Give yourself time. But what we want is we want the hips to maintain that mobility so the knees can stabilize. So quickly, remember, you want the feet and ankles mobile. You want the knees stable. You want the hips mobile. you want the core lumbar stable, right? Lumbar to the bottom rib, stable. You want the thoracic mobile. You want the thoracic to be able to move. You want the cervical stable. You want your neck stable. It turns back and forth. You want those muscles to have stability. You don't want your cervical and your lumbar to make up for your thoracic not being able to move. But anyway, applicable to what we're talking about today. We don't want our quads so tight and our hip flexors so tight from sitting, binging Netflix or whatever you're doing, sitting all the time, that your hips can't rotate this way. And then the knees have to torque. All right, anyway, hope you're enjoying that. Triple M, hang together, people. Rock and roll.